Read something from The Daunting Ephemeral.
No.
Now!
No drugs are allowed in this spankhole.
This is Dustin's book. His first official collection came out not too long ago. A multitude of poems.
I am a communist. I have a big red fist.
From making this book, no doubt.
For my sister.
This is a nice picture of him.
She says she plays Twister.
That's a nice picture, don't you think?
But because she looks like a communist. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. This is a punk rock song for those who feel like the world is wrong.
Well, then I'll read something.
I don't care, and I don't care. That's why I walk the streets in my underwear.
I'll read you one of my favorite ones.
I was talking to Lynn Coffin when he texted earlier. She apparently the proof that I sent her. She waited. She said she waited until about 1 o'clock, and then it didn't come in, so she left. And it came in right after she left.
Really?
I do that all the time, dude.
Wow.
But then she said they didn't leave it. They left her a notice that she could pick it up the next day at one of the UPS access points.
Wow.
And that's the most profound thing that ever happened in poetry history.
You are so profound, you must get lost.
I must get lost. I must suck my own cock.
Damn it, Dustin. Read this one.
You read me first.
Okay, I'll read it to you. Bizot's White Fox. It is the cruelty of man against man that kills the soul. Yet we are only holograms delivered from the sky like an angel's letter. But the angel is not reasonable. She is also a scarlet whore who trammels our destinies, collectively altering our consciences, making certainty concerning our nature of no importance. So now a bloodstain of Bizot's jacket, what to make of it? It is the last laughter of his white fox, that darkness threw against the wall, leaving an impression of dread and anguish, more than M13 ever could. And why do men kill? For pleasure, necessity, liberation? No, only to suck the maelstrom out of their veins. Hey, Joe Strummer, stop a strummin'! I should have asked you this when I interviewed you about this book. What influenced the American Muse?
A long night with a cross-dresser having anal sex.
I'll ask you again, Dustin. What influenced the American Muse?
They just kind of like, I felt an urge coming that needed a poem, so it happened. The idea just kind of spontaneously arose, and I thought, well, why? I need to express something that, to me, is the ultimate ultimatum of American existence. At the same time, in that spirit, to do a reverse and present what America was supposed to be about, or what it is supposed to be about, which is pretty much our ideals are pretty much logical. To, most anybody could look at them and say, okay, these are good ideals, but so many people just neglect them and don't even bother to think that And it's not like the founding fathers even really, truly, applied those ideals. They just wrote them.
Right.
Because they obviously had most of them owned slaves that they weren't willing to part with. The only one I know of that didn't own slaves that I can think of off the top of my head was George Washington, and he wore a funny wig, so he didn't.
Yeah. So was it supposed to be the modern America, do you think? Or just like when you say like what America's supposed to be like as far as the question of morality?
It wasn't morality, it was more like this is a presentation of what America is. It's basically a slave house. Everybody has to work at a shitty job, to make ends meet, and we're all expected to be entrepreneurs, or, it's like that's kind of what I feel that, we have so much expected of us as citizens, and there's not any reasonable, opposition to this insanity of, work a 15-hour shift and go home and watch TV for a couple hours and then sleep, 4 hours and get up in the morning and do it again. And that's a lot of what a lot of really hardworking people face, and it's all just so they can live comfortably. And I don't think that's fair, honestly. I don't think anybody should have to work themselves to death for $100,000 a year. I think because a lot of the CEOs that put this on us, they work 15 hours. Maybe a day, and that's nice. They're doing a lot of positive things, but they get paid. I mean, I've heard some figures that they get paid like $17,000 an hour and shit like that, and it's like, you look at that and you're kind of like, do they really need that much? What are they gonna do with it?
It's just it just goes back to that age-old saying, overworked, underpaid, and all those menial jobs. It's just.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. Some people work 2 or 3 jobs, and
yep.
Some of them like it. Some of them feel disgruntled about it, and I feel, to me, I don't think anybody should have to, spend half their day driving back and forth between jobs, waiting in traffic, but this is life under, modern capitalism. It's just how it is, and,
yep.
and a lot of people have a gripe with capitalism. A lot of people. Their gripe is just as legitimate as those who say, well, this is just life, what we have to face if we're going to live in a prosperous and, prosperous, innovative society. A lot of things we've created in this country have, changed the world.
But if we didn't become automatic consumers and succumb to the trepidations of modern capitalism, how would you improve this society? If you could only do one thing.
If I could only do one thing, well, I don't know. That's a good question. As far as really improving the society, in a lot of ways, I think we should cut out the bureaucracy.
How?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I feel like bureaucracy is an addiction that America faces because it's like it keeps growing. We get a little bit of bureaucracy and we're like, let's get some more. Let's go hit it again. And now we can't get rid of it. Because it was intended to protect the average American working class or the poor and the needy. This is what it was created to do. But I don't think I've heard people say. That they shouldn't have to pay taxes because, because it goes to somebody who's struggling. And that's not good. It's not good for someone to have that attitude. So one thing I sympathize with the ideals of libertarianism because they want it to be voluntary, these kinds of generosities. And I feel like if it was voluntary, there wouldn't be so much bitterness towards the poor. But at the same time, would it care for the needs of the poor? Would a purely voluntary system and what it could raise provide medicine and food and shelter and clothing and stuff for people like me who are sick and can't keep up with an 8-hour shift and make whatever amount of money per day going in 5 days a week, 8-hour shift and making shit wages. I can't do it, and I don't really care to even bother to try it, which dress me to no end to try to do that. I like the fact that I live reasonably comfortable in a pretty, it's a pretty ghetto-ish kind of place. I like the fact that I can live in this place, I can put my books somewhere, I can put my computer somewhere, and I can work at my own pace, doing what I love to do, which is writing poetry and publishing a journal, and not feel like, I would like it to be where I didn't feel like I was, stealing from somebody just because I'm taking tax dollars, but the fact of the matter is, if there's things you don't agree with in our tax system, if there's certain things you say, well, I don't want to have to pay for that. Well, there's other guys that feel like they shouldn't have to pay for something you want to pay for. So why don't you just look at it as, I'm paying for what I wish the tax dollars should go for. Someone else is paying for the other stuff. Because if Democrats are the ones that are being, are poorer and they're paying less taxes, which so many people claim, well, that little bit of taxes they pay is going to the social safety net, which is what they agree with, and your taxes can go to the war and the more guns in the world, bring guns into the world, and and then force your children to be born that the mothers don't want to have in the world. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I mean, I don't think it's someone else's choice to impose on a person who does not wish to carry a child that, you should have just not had sex. Well, yeah, hindsight being 20/20. I mean,
Yep.
You can't predict if you're gonna get pregnant or not. Yes, it's
Nope.
irresponsible to just whore yourself out to whoever and not use condoms or whatever and not. But you know what? So many people say they don't want anybody having sex until they're married. You don't even get birth control. That's against the religion. You don't get birth control. You can't even use condoms. If you want to have sex, you better have sex with your specific spouse that you can't divorce. You only can have sex with one person your whole life, and I say to hell with that. Don't have sex with anybody. Just don't have sex. No.
So what you're saying is we're gonna live in a modern communist environment where everybody is asexual.
That would make the world a better place, because then overpopulation would cease to exist, and we wouldn't have so much stress in these urban environments, and we wouldn't have some. I mean, I kind of like, I'm divided on a lot of issues because I look at everything everybody has to say, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, it makes sense. This makes sense, and this makes sense, but they don't agree with each other. They're pursuing two different things. So what you want to see is, well, how do you want things arranged? Not is this the truth or this the truth? How do you want things arranged? And for me, I don't want a bureaucracy. At least not the kind we have, where it's every. But at the same time, I do want good food. I do want a strong urban middle class. I want the things that bureaucracy provides. I just don't like being watched over if I'm a business person or in any field. If you feel like the government's can just come down to your level and say, okay, well, you're breaking these laws, and you didn't even know those laws existed. You're like, okay, how do I pay for all this mismanagement? Things like that. So, Satan. Satan is my drug, and I give myself a hug. Every morning I kiss my mirror and tell myself I want to be near her. I don't know who she is, but I want her sister in my kiss.
That's not creepy at all.
This is a fun song for all the weirdos.
Next verse.
Do some acid, but don't feel so placid. Just do some acid. Ouch!
Ooh, that sounds like that
was
hurt.
what happens when you play with your hands.
Anarchy in the UK.
Punk rock is my friend.
Punk rock, you're my big crybaby. Play Anarchy in the UK.
Here it goes.
I am an Antichrist, and I am an anarchist. Don't know what I want, I know it
I
again.
can't remember how that other part. I think it goes. I can't remember the rest of it. The one that I know really well as far as punk is I can't.
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't really know a lot. I know how to play punk. I just don't know any specific songs.
What's the song you know how to play like all the way through?
I don't know any songs all the way through. I used to know a bunch. Maybe you'll recognize this one.
Okay. Wait. Can you give me a hint?
That's Guns N' Roses.
Thanks for the hint. I only know November Rain. That's the only Guns N' Roses. And I know their cover of Sympathy for the Devil.
No, this is it goes what is that song? I can't remember the name of it. It's not November Rain. It's another song that came out in the 80s.
Hey Zach, there's a great restaurant near here. Oh, really? What is it? I don't know. I just thought you should know it was great. It starts like that.
What?
Like that?
No, this is a lead part. It's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah. Can you play Learning to Fly?
No, I can play some of. Wait, no, it's.
Wish You Were Here? Here? Isn't that Wish You Were Here? Yeah. Swear to God, always makes me cry. Always. I actually karaoke'd that song early last year. I cried during the karaoke.
I used to know the entire intro lead part, the solo.
Yeah, that's part of it. Do you know any other Floyd?
No, I don't really know. I used to know Brick in the Wall, but I don't know it anymore. Oh, here's one that you might recognize.
Oh.
Wait. Wait.
Who?
Man that sold the world.
Oh, damn it. You know Space Oddity?
I don't know anything else. I only know that one because it was in Nirvana.
Nirvana, say yeah.
Yeah.
Lithium?
Oh, of course.
I'm so happy 'cause today I found my friends. At that time, and all the lyrics have escaped my mind again. Once again. really should bring that to open mic.